The future of indie creations is here, and it's looking bright. It seems that every day a brand new project or production is being released with awesome designs and unique storytelling. But does anyone ever talk about the struggles of creating a project? During my time in Discord, I've met so many passionate people, all of them with such cool concepts and great ideas. But at the same time, I've seen so many struggle and even quit when they fail to spread awareness of their project. So what can we do to help? Howdy, my name is Cactus Gonzalez, and I am one of the proud sponsors of the Independent Film Association, or IFA. Now, what is the IFA, you may ask? Well, it is a new organization devoted to helping independent projects of all kinds. It's easy to come up with a concept, but how about the motivation and dedication from us to assist? The IFA is meant to help with that, finding indie creators and allowing them to share their voice. Our main goals are mostly to build support and spread awareness to these projects, along with offering tips and advice to those who wish for it. So, without further ado, it is time to present a few of the projects that are partnered with the IFA. The world ended in 2012, and no creature was left behind. Well, none besides those born from eggs, including montriums, reptiles, and birds. Now that the world has changed, these animals decide to rebuild their world, first by rebuilding their government. At first, the Hawks rose to power, promising a grand democracy. But soon they started becoming lazy and corrupt with their rule. At present, the Hawks no longer handle court cases with the proper care or justice. To deal with these problematic animals, they are exiled to a small island that has once been a part of Texas. One unfortunate bird fell victim to this unfair and prejudiced fate, Avion, convicted discriminately simply because of her species. Avion has a very bubbly personality, helping her make friends on this island despite her unlucky circumstances. Thus, with her brand new companions, Avion and her crew have to solve the mystery of why other birds are being kidnapped, striving to bring upon justice. AATS is a passion project that's been in the works since 2024. Right now, we're in rough animation. AATS is a comedy / musical / suspense / horror / action animated series. What we're looking for is a shot manager, background artists, compositioners, songwriters, cleanup artists, and many other art roles. If none of these sound like they fit you, we still love adding more people to our community to play games and make new friends.
When the world began, first, there was chaos. It was neither man nor God, nor alive, nor soulless. It simply came to be, existed, and was. Thus so from chaos's very essence spun the golden threads of time, flowing like thin spiderwebs stretched across the empty void, encapsulating the abyss with its own being. The two were much alike. The concepts of black and white, the darkness and the light, the absence and presence. Yet reality simply could not exist with two shades of a universe. So, from equal parts both chaos and time, the divine order, otherwise known as balance, came to be. From these three deities would become the great race known as the all-powerful creators. But none would ever come close to the abilities of that from their origins, despite the various attempts to overthrow them. But what would happen to reality? They began to fight amongst one another. Who would come to be victorious? Timebound, the title of this new up-and-coming indie show, will display themes and in-depth lore such as what you have just viewed above. The series will combine genres such as adventure, medieval, fantasy, mystery, horror, thriller, and storytelling, all strung together by the cast and community to make a great production. Inspired by a love for reading and writing books, this show is meant to bring people together, creating a project with a little bit of something for all to enjoy. If this story takes up your interest at all, feel free to join us and embark on the journey of Timebound together. We have auditions open for various different roles, including voice actors, writers, artists, musicians, and more, for anybody to try out for. Whether you're a lore enthusiast, a book lover, a storyteller, or an illustrator, a dreamer, or a creator, we have a place for you.
Hello, I am Dragon Sheep Studios, and my show name is Angelica. Angelica is a mystery story in a fantasy setting with horror elements. Our protagonist, Cam, is a dragon who grew up in the human world and who recently discovered she is not the only member of her species. She is slowly adjusting to the magical city of Angelica and the world she supposedly belongs in with the help of her energetic new friend Strika, who is determined to push her out of her comfort zone. Along with Strika's genius sister Enigma, the three of them are caught up in a string of mysterious disappearances that threaten their realm and the way they understood it. What I need for this project is volunteer storyboard artists, animators, background artists, editors, and sound designers, and I will be posting a call for them soon.
Over a century ago, a green star struck the planet, changing the world and its inhabitants forever. Years have passed and people began to change, obtaining supernatural powers, which will then be known as magic. As people got used to their newfound powers, wars between nations began to strike for the possession of the green star, being the cause of magic itself. However, it was quickly interrupted thanks to the efforts of the majestic Queen Valen, and thus all nations would freely be able to research the star. Fulgora and his team are curious adventurers who want to know more about how magic came to be, and they do so by going on a lot of quests. But during one of these quests, their journey changes forever. At the moment, the creator Vector is mainly working solo when it comes to art, animation, and pre-production. However, any help would be much obliged. Help being more animators or artists.
A Storybook Odyssey is a cerebral fantasy adventure series with a psychological edge. The series is currently in development and explores the themes of being a creative in the modern world, overcoming mental health issues, and how what we say and do has more influence than we think it does. When Arthur Jacobs gets trapped in a world based in imagination, he will have to confront dark forces, monsters of his own creation, and understand the rules of the realm before he can escape back to the real world. The series is set in Cognitolpa, a parallel world to ours where all human imagination coexists, including fiction and theoretical concepts, and is shaped by thought and will. A Storybook Odyssey is a series meant for teens to young adults and includes things such as mild swearing, which is mostly censored, heavy topics, including psychological topics, and mild bloodshed and gore used sparingly for dramatic effect. You can find all kinds of fun stuff based on the show at oddtalesstudios.com, including character interviews, deep dives into the show and setting, along with behind-the-scenes stuff and concept art. We are currently producing a pilot episode. The script is being finalized and the characters are being given official designs. What's needed right now are artists and other creatives willing to collaborate to get these next steps done. The next step will be storyboarding, which I hope to begin early this month, assuming things keep moving at a steady pace. One of the biggest ways to help is by subscribing to the Odd Tales Studios YouTube channel and following us on other platforms like TikTok and Instagram. This will help build the audience and offer crowdfunding opportunities. Otherwise, people can further support the show by checking out the merch I put on Redbubble, which I'm hoping to add more to going forward. Like Arthur, I'm really excited to take this creative journey with you all, and I can't wait to see how this all turns out.
The Girl in the Grim Tale is about a young girl who stumbles across a mysterious rift in the woods, and she finds herself lost in the whimsical world known as the Grim Tale. Now, she must find a way to get back home, but she can't remember how she got there in the first place. So what we need for episode 1 is voice actors, composers, background artists, cleanup artists, and 2D animators. But if none of those roles suit you, then simply supporting the channel is completely fine as well.
Are you a fan of adventure, action, and exploration? Well, Intuition Countdown has just those items. as well as the additional genres of a daunting thriller and sci-fi horror show. This story revolves around two sisters, Lula and Lexi, as they are on the journey to betterment. Forgiveness for actions that cannot be undone follows these characters as the show progresses. However, the main conflict is the imminent space laser threatening their world. Tunnel Vision is a show aimed towards teens, focusing on sci-fi, dystopian, and existential themes. After the world has ended from mysterious monsters taking over, a woman named Elizabeth took all surviving residents and started her own society within London's metro system. Pascal, a resident and die-hard fan of Elizabeth, is eager to get promoted to one of her star residents. But after the arrival of a resident who's convinced he's never lived there, Pascal uncovers secrets about the town and Elizabeth that changes everything he once knew. What is needed? Although all roles are currently closed, any support towards the project would mean the absolute world to us. You can support them by watching the pilot when it's released or joining the Discord community server. However, roles may open up once the pilot is released, so there could be further opportunities for animators, artists, or voice actors. Sila is having a hard time coping with a breakup that ended her friend group. She locked herself away for weeks, trying to find a way to move on. It isn't until she forces herself to go outside that she meets Teef. It is through Teef that Sila is introduced to a new friend group. They find themselves swept up in wild adventures. This series genre is slice of life and horror, and is heavily inspired by the game Danny's World.
And to Us, a 2D adventure comedy. And to Us follows two teams, hired by two mysterious elite men to gather artifacts. The two teams are known as the Count's Court and Greed's Hollows. The benefactor of the Count's Court is the dreaded Count Mordred, while Big John, a giant Texas man, leads the team from the ground. John's team consists of Sarge, a female French sharpshooter who is haunted by the Great War. Next is the Australian Pawn, a dwarf explosions expert who finds himself in unique situations. Doc, a German scientist who is credited as the medic of the team, though he would rather watch the world burn. And Michael, a young pilot who is searching for adventure, love, and, in the show, he finds both. Now it's time for the poor mercenaries that make up Greed's Hollows. Bello leads the group with a mechanical arm, who's followed by the forgotten assassin McBurg, a rather brown Scottish man who enjoys his liquor a little bit too much. Tony, a Jewish man from Boston and a shunned inventor. And the wonderful Jen, a young English bookkeeper who desires adventure. Little does she know, she'll fall in love with the one and only Michael. All while Mr. Joy, a mysterious and rather creepy man, pays them to receive artifacts. Madrid and Joy accidentally start a race for each other's artifacts, but that race is soon trespassed on when a third party, so bent on world domination, steps in and tries to kill both teams. We'll watch both teams fight, explore, join forces, and fall in love in this adventure show based on an alternate 1930s.
Vadiv Industries is an animated drama/comedy web series created and written, directed, and animated by Redger. This series is set in a bustling metropolis by the name of Industry City, which is populated entirely by robots. It follows a robot CEO named Bishop Verdigris and his bodyguard, Archie Armstrong, as they navigate Vadiv's public image, personal relationships, and the company's rivalry with a new competitor. The series will explore themes of self-discovery and healing from trauma. Bishop Verdigris, the eccentric CEO of robot manufacturing company named Vadiv Industries, is doing a random inspection of a handful of his employees. Stressed and unprepared, these employees must now hide how unprofessional they really act during work. So what's needed? Production is going smoothly and is in the audio editing/animatic stage. There are currently no plans to bring in more writers or animators for the pilot. However, in the future, more voice actors and artists will be brought on for the creation of Episode 1. A friendly community and followers of the project are always appreciated. Teao, a half-human in the distant future, comes across a crashed spaceship. Earth has been dead for many years. Aliens come and go, but this is her ticket off the planet. Nova's ship is damaged from an enemy attack after a mission gone wrong. She's in need of aid when Teao saves her from the wreckage. Together, they repair the ship and set off into the stars in pursuit of ending a long-standing conflict in space. What's needed? Currently nothing. The project server that Kaz maintains is open to everyone. Voice actors will sometimes be casted from there, and crew members will be brought in when needed too. But right now, it's a community space to share art, cosplay, writing, and other projects by Kaz and members of the server. Orbital is just now coming off of its hiatus, and Episode 1 will start airing in a grieving 12-year-old boy dissociates into a world where he masks himself as a cruel and evil king in search of control, unintentionally becoming the villain of his own story. His imaginary friend and an acquaintance from the real world must come to the realization that his world isn't real and save the king from himself before they're doomed to continue a cycle of torture and self-destruction forever. Wandering time anomalies Haru and Smith are plucked from their worlds and thrown into the great unknown of another. With their fates intertwined, they journey together to find their way back home. But an unseen evil is unleashed onto their world, and Haru must search for it before it's too late. Choices must be made in order to save the world and themselves. The question is, are Haru and Smith willing to make them? Their destinies lie in their hands. As of right now, Patch has the pilot's Part 1 storyboard drafts roughly edited, which will be moving on to rough animatics very soon. They're on the process of finalizing their script for the pilot Part 2. They're currently looking for more artists, animators, 3D modelers, musicians, writers, and assistants. For artists, that includes storyboard artist, concept artist, background/environmental artist, and layout artist. Traditional and digital artists are welcome. For animators, that includes animatic artists and rough animators. For 3D modelers, we would love any help with modeling and blocking out environments and interiors. For musicians, they're primarily in search of jazz musicians who specialize or have experience with big band swing, bebop, etc., as well as taking orchestra/cinematic musicians. There are so many creatives with so many amazing ideas out there, and all of the ones presented today are independent. We want to push indie supporting indie, because not that many people will support us if we don't have the subs to back it up. We want to raise awareness for all these amazing projects shown. If you know any projects in need of awareness or tips and advice, please contact us. Make sure to contact those shows in the video so you can help them out as well. Like always, make sure to click the like, share, and subscribe button.